Let's light this candle, huh?
You work fast, man. I got to give you credit. That's impressive.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to. That was all for an inside joke that you guys may never understand, and it was very much worth it.
A joke I think I made literally like 2 minutes before we went live, and Danny just whipped that out. Can I just say, why was there never a subplot in Home Improvement about how one of those kids is blonde from a family of all brunettes? I'm just saying, like, why was there never a, hey, you were adopted, or hey, somebody had an affair? I mean, just, you know.
You mean she couldn't stand Tim Allen the whole time and had to go have an affair?
That would be the most realistic storyline. So, yeah.
She found out he was a narc.
No, Tim Allen sells the best cocaine. Remember,
exactly, and a drug dealer. Yeah, in Michigan. Yeah,
until he has to flip on his friends.
How do you think Buzz Lightyear flies?
I thought he just landed with style.
he flies when he sees Tim Allen.
Oh boy, don't we all? Well, this is a great start to 2023.
Yes, exactly.
Well, yeah, I hope everyone had a good New Year.
Yeah,
we're here still, despite of all the complaints and protests and everything. All those thumbs downs on the videos. We're here still.
Did we get some thumbs down?
Yeah, who's thumbing us down?
No, we rarely get thumbs down. We only get thumbs down on like whenever one of those shorts blows up, because like everyone hates everything sometimes.
Yeah.
So like no matter what the content is, they're gonna hate
internet.
It's all right. We just want the engagement.
You know what? The other day I said, you know what we need to do is lose the internet for a year or two. Just kind of humble some people.
Oh God, no.
Get rid of it. 2 years. 2 years of no internet. How great would life be?
Have you? As obviously you haven't read Marvel's Dark Ages book.
Yeah.
I
just think without all that exchange, we would calm down a bit.
There's only so much post-apocalyptic scenarios I can handle.
But I feel like I would just have people walk up to me and just go.
They knock on your door.
Yeah.
But they're still wearing a mask. Hey, asshole. But they're still wearing a mask, so they don't.
They get that Black Mirror mask, you know, when you block people in real life that's just static. That would be great. Oh, my God. That would be the thing that would be invented. If the internet broke, people would invent ways to block people in real life.
That's what we need. We don't need to go back. We need to accelerate to the Black Mirror stuff. Give me that
accelerate. No.
Give me that implant where I could just go back and rewind stuff I've seen, or
nah.
Give me those droids that hunt down humans.
Wow.
Let's just do it.
Damn. The world.
Let's just do it.
They have a different plan. I just wanted to thumbs down people.
I was gonna say,
annihilate them.
Listen, might as well. We're already here. So speaking of we're already here, we do have a show plan. I promise you. There's a whole notes document. It's filled in and everything. Everyone filled it in.
It's 2 pages.
Yeah.
Kind of.
3 pages now because Clay went ahead and just added everything he wanted to talk about for the year.
Good job, Clay.
There was some good stuff, man.
Yeah, there was. So in the first half of the show, I mean, I guess as long as it takes, we're gonna talk about our favorite comics of 2022. Because I think it's about time that we put our opinions out there. I love, it's weird. I see like people are dropping lists like at the beginning of December. I'm like, there's still like 4 weeks of comics. Hold on.
Yeah, I know.
And I mean, as you may see in Clay's list, one of those was like a last minute addition. I would say compared to.
I mean, look,
titles.
I'm just saying, if you didn't look after like November, you would have missed out on one of the best comics around. So
Ooh,
I
look at that
agree.
cover.
I know, isn't that nice?
Who did that?
Alex Ross.
I believe it's Ross. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think Ross is on like a perpetual contract to just do Fantastic Four covers forever.
He clearly loves FF. I mean, after his book, you know, I think he's like, if I could just exclusively paint Fantastic Four, I'd be happy. So,
I mean, I'm okay with that.
I am too. I mean,
have
come
no
on,
problem with Alex Ross.
I love when he makes them look from the 60s.
Yeah, which he almost always does. But can I just say, and I don't want this taken out of context, I love Alex Ross's thing.
Clip it.
Has Alex Ross shown his man thing before?
Ooh, I don't know. Is it tumescent?
Oh boy, that's why people don't want us around.
Exactly. That's thumbs down for Alex Ross's man thing.
Yeah.
And we just lost every viewer ever.
Yeah, even I turned it off. I monitor the show, make sure everything's going all right. But I can't take this much.
I needed you when I did my unboxing. I did an unboxing video where I had me on one side and the box on the other. I didn't have my camera or mic on. I for some reason just had it in the shot the whole time instead of exploding up the unboxing video. And
I saw that afterwards. And I was like, all right, look, this is a choice. I'm not, it's not my creative process. It's not my preferred method of shooting. I do go in every time
because I would look over to see if everything's okay, and I'm like, why is that box still in the shot? And I didn't see that till the end and question it, and I was just like, okay, done. And it was a live stream, so it just sat there.
Yeah. Well, that's what we have, editing tools that we can do afterwards. But that, it's fine. I think people liked it. There's a few people watched it. Before we get into the comics, let's talk a little bit about the channel. I mean, a lot of cool stuff happened in 2022.
That's you guys. I'm just the dead weight. So
including everyone contributes in their own way, Josh.
You're too kind.
I just hope you're at least playing a playlist of all the videos in the background of your house, just all constantly on a loop. Get some additional views.
Yeah,
and then also just airdropping videos or like sending links out to strangers, making your students watch a video.
Yep, extra credit all the time.
Subscribe, and comment for extra credit.
That's it. Yeah, like if your kid, like you should drop in like a keyword phrase in the middle of our podcast and make your kids find that keyword and give them.
Oh, that's
credit.
Good. That's really good.
Yeah, it can't be at the beginning or at the end.
Or you should tell them to, like I don't know if you guys have seen those videos of like the weather person just dropping in phrases from their comments on social media. So like somebody will say, say this on there or whatever. Obviously, we would vet the comments first. That way, Josh isn't going here on some kind of racist rant or something.
That would
you know how Josh
awful.
goes off.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Actually, I would be afraid to have my students watch this. Be like, you swear a lot. You talk a lot about sex.
Well, your students are old, right? Like they're
no, not anymore, man. We get more every semester. We get more and more high school dual credit students.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Which is really fun when I show them Maplethorpe.
I'm gonna just that's an adult thing. I don't.
Hold on, Daniel. Why don't you Google Maplethorpe and just go to image searches and just tell us what you think of his artwork.
You know, I have my safe search on, so I don't think it'll work.
Yeah, it'll say not.
You know, quite honestly, even with Safe Search on, I would hope it would work because Maplethorpe is an important artist who shouldn't be censored.
Holy shit!
So I hope Safe Search is going to be like, it's Maplethorpe. It's fine.
I was going to ask you guys because I did do 2 live streams where I did some unboxing and it ended up with the situation. So I wanted to get your opinion on it. I had ordered from Etsy a bunch of minis that I got that I unboxed, and it was a total bust. I mean, like they were broken, poorly packaged. Yeah. And like 2 out of the 5 were a gift and they didn't show, and only one of those showed up. Yeah. It like, bases for some and not for others. It was like a total bust, and so I was like really pissed off. And so I reached out to the guy. It was during the holidays, and he got back with me and was like, "Look, I'll reprint them all, send them out, do everything." And I was like, "Oh, okay, well that works. You know, I can still, you know, it was going to be a gift, but I'll just delay it." And then he was like, "Well, what are you saying is broken?" He like started getting real particular. I said, "Look, I don't want to argue. Just give me a refund, and we'll just call it even." And he did. And he sent me like 25% off to use the store again. So I'm at a loss. I can rate his store, but he has like a 4.8. So any rating I give is just going to bring him down. The dude tried to make it right and gave me 25% off. So it's like, what do you do in that situation? I didn't rate his store, but I also haven't gone back to repurchase anything because it really was shit. He even admitted like they packaged it poorly. It should have never gone out like that. They should have been individually done. Like he admitted that like they were rushed at the holidays to get stuff out, and this was just poorly packaged and came broken. And but then also missed 2 other pieces completely.
Yeah.
So would you guys go back and shop at a place that had done this, or with a discount? Would you rate them if you knew you would only bring their rating down too?
Because you got a refund, and I that to me is like, okay, the transaction never happened. Like you're just kind of taking it back. Now it is an unfortunate waste of your time, and then also like, you know, the gifts that you were gonna give. But that's also kind of that's the risk we take with, like, you know, shopping with individuals as opposed to corporations. So I would say I would probably not rate it, or I guess rate it positively, but also leave a comment like, this is what happened, but everything was made right, or something like that.
I felt like I couldn't give him a 5.0 because of the transaction. So anything I give would just hurt him. But again, it's an individual and I don't want to wreck his business. I did have a bad time, and there's a video out there of everything. So, I mean, that at least exists. And the follow-up video just, you know, explains what happened and the outcome.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I personally, I wouldn't rate them. And I'm so Pollyannish. I would honestly use the discount and reorder. And if everything comes in great, that means one of 2 things, right? It means either 1, he realized it was you and made sure the order went out correctly, or 2, even better, it shows that whatever staff is working for him, he worked with them to make sure don't do this again, and they're doing things properly, right? 3, if it shows up broken and shit again, then you know, okay, I can leave a rating now because you know, so.
Yeah, and so I've been watching a lot of people on Twitch paint, and there's a guy, Mike Disney, who does an incredible job. I'll watch him paint and learn a lot from the stuff he's doing. And so after watching Mike, he did a raid to this other channel. And so I just sat in and started watching this guy paint. And he's like, I'm giving away $20 to Reaper Minis. And he drew my name. And I was like, oh, cool. So I got $20 credit at this other place. So let's do an unboxing from them. I ordered a bunch of stuff, 100%. Everything arrived, everything packaged. I mean, like This is the packaging that I got.
Oh, good. Okay.
From the other place.
Yeah.
This all 5 figures were loose in here, and that's why you can see there's like stuff falling apart. Every one of the Reaper minis comes packaged individually.
Yep.
And we're safe, nothing broken. Just fantastic. Like even the ones that were big that I had to put together, like this guy. We're in fantastic shape. So, and they're primed. I mean, so like like this guy is already ready to paint, so I don't even have to prime him. Yeah. So Reaper minis, apparently they work at a couple of different places, but they're out of Lake Dallas here.
I was gonna say they're local, right? Like they're from around here or just north.
I've seen that box. I've seen a bunch of Madness, the Bones figures.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're all over here.
Yeah, reaperminis.com. Like fantastic. Got everything I wanted. Plus I had $20 off. I got all sorts of cool shit that I'm going to paint on stream. I'm excited about. And I'm going to start selling some of these on Etsy. So look for stuff. If you see stuff that I'm painting on stream, and I'm going to try to build some more things from some of the stuff I have and hopefully put it out for sale. And you guys can check it out.
Cool.
That's awesome.
I do want to thank Josh because I had never heard the word Pollyannish before. So I Googled it. So I learned something. Someone who is unfailingly cheerful no matter what. It's a great word. It's a great word. See, Josh,
you're welcome.
This is what you bring. You class up this thing.
I bring obscure old man language is what I do. So
So that is the word of the day, Pollyannish. It is spelled very weirdly, though. It took me a few tries to Google it. I was like, Polyamish? No, that can't be it.
If you turn off safe search and just search Pollyannish, you get something very different. So
it's still in a barn somehow, though. Anyways. Awesome. Let's talk about. Oh yeah, let's go back to some of the highlights. I just wanted to. Obviously, the big one is like we crossed 1,000 subs.
Yes, that's amazing.
Which is crazy, and we're like that was maybe like a month and a half ago, and now we're at like almost 1,340.
Yeah.
Yes, which is insane. So obviously, thanks to everyone that subscribed. We still got one more thing to do before you can actually monetize this channel.
Is it get rid of Josh? That's what I'm worried about.
No, we
not cuss. That's the new thing. Is like YouTube is coming down heavy on cursing.
Oh no, really?
It's
fuck.
Thing, well, right now you can do whatever you want, but the thing is, you need to have a certain amount of like public hours in your channel, which we don't have yet. So yeah,
weird.
So we're working on that. We're also working on some changes to the Patreon. We'll probably talk about it on our next episode when we talk about our favorite movies of last year, because it is movie related. So we're adding a new tier to get more involvement in the show. So yeah, that was cool. And we had a few videos kind of blow up. Our 8 Billion Genies review, like it's the most watched review on the channel, the #1 issue, which is insane. But that's an amazing comic, so I get it.
Great book.
Our
almost made my list.
Yeah, we had
almost.
Yeah.
I'll
explain.
We'll talk about why. We'll talk about it. We had a few trailer reactions that went over 1,000 as well, which is the rare for us, including the Sandman one we did for Comic-Con, Violent Night, which we'll probably talk about next week. Which we talked about the last show too. I think that was the last show, right? We did the review. So yeah, very cool stuff. And then like some of the shorts that I've been doing with like comic reviews and anime stuff, you guys seem to enjoy. And then me dropping clips of Rick and Morty. I think that's also very popular with the kids.
Popular with the kids.
That's right. So yeah, but it's pretty exciting. There's a lot of I guess as a programming note, there's a lot of new anime coming out for the winter season that starts today, like in this weekend.
Mhm.
So I'll be watching some of that stuff. Have you guys seen Trigun?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind. The wrong audience for this. I've never seen it.
All I know. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I've never seen it either. But the I guess like a follow up called Trigun Stampede is premiering today, which is what I'm doing after the show. I'm
Oh.
watching the first episode. But go ahead, Josh. What were you gonna say?
Well, I was gonna say all I know is that season 4 of Bungo Stray Dogs dropped because my daughter is super excited and already watched
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Crunchyroll's
Yep.
it's been a good year for anime last year, and so look out this week. I should be dropping my favorite anime of last year. But speaking of favorites, let's get into it because we've been rambling for 20 minutes already. Yeah, we're gonna talk about our favorite comics of 2022. Mine aren't in like any specific order. Like I'm not ranking them. These are just like, and I guess you guys may be similar. Just looking at your list. I don't think
Yeah.
I can pick like, well, maybe I can. I could probably pick a number one, but everything else is kind of like very close. So we
Yeah.
can talk about these in any order, and we'll just go around robin.
Okay.
We can start with you, Clay. Talk about one of them. and
Okay,
we'll
well,
go in.
I kind of made a huge turn on event books and really accepted Devil's Reign this year as a fun book by Chip Zdarsky, and I've started to go back to event books and collect them because you know what, the spinoffs are cheap. You can get them in quarter boxes most of the time because that event has passed. So, like Devil's Reign, I was buying them off the wall, and I was like, man, I know these will be like in quarter boxes in 6 months. So I think what I'm going to start doing is I do enjoy an event book that is on time by the same team,
Mm-hmm.
you know, sequentially in the order it's supposed to come out in. And Devil's Reign was that. Like, you know, it had some great stuff in it. The side books were pretty good. Again, I had problems with some of the art, but this is one where I looked at it and I kind of like have come around. Like the event books work for me in times when I can get them all together and just sit down and read. But as they come out, not so much. But Devil's Reign was fun. I mean, Chip Zdarsky has just been doing everything this year, and I know, yeah, and some great covers too, man.
Yeah,
That is a nice cover. Yeah.
really.
I mean,
cool.
I love the Marvel Knights. I love Daredevil, Misty Knight, Power Man, Iron Fist. That whole arena of characters, and so it's neat to see Chip play with them.
Well, then that's actually a pretty good segue for one of mine because I cheated.
Yeah, you did.
I'm just picking like one of my picks is Chip Zdarsky books. Like
Yeah.
I couldn't just pick one. So I picked pretty much any book that Chip. The only one I'm not reading from Chip Zdarsky right now is Stillwater. That's an Image Skybound book. But everything else has been amazing. Like his Batman run, which you can see here, the failsafe cover. Batman the Night, which is like a prequel book to Batman, not his Batman, just Batman overall, like a new tale of his mythology. His Daredevil series with Marco Cicchetto, which leads into Devil's Reign and then continues from Devil's Reign, which Clay just talked about. And his indie book, Public Domain, that started on Substack. And that one is just him. That his art by Chip Zdarsky.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's Chip Zdarsky comics. One of my favorite things of 2022. They're just a lot of fun. I think has some great ideas. I think we're all very lucky that he gets to work with super talented artists like Jorge Jimenez, Batman, Giancarlo Giandomenico on Batman the Night, Cicchetto on Devil's Reign, on the Devil's Reign and Daredevil stuff, and even some of his Electro Daredevil stuff. Like it's still really good. So yeah, I'm very excited. I'm a big fan of Chip Zdarsky, and I can't wait to see what he's gonna do this year. So that's one of my picks. Josh, what do you got?
Yeah, I think for long time listeners, watchers to the show, none of mine will come as a surprise. But one of my favorite comics of 2022 was Guilt GILT, the Guild of Independent Lady Temporalists, and it is just such a fun series. So fun, in fact, I picked it as the first book we're reading in the comic book club this year. So, like next week, we're going to talk about it.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it is
good for the head.
Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. I did post it in the Discord. FYI. Okay.
I know. I need to update the website.
It's Alyssa Whitney and Morissette, and it's just I'm a sucker for time travel stories, and this is a time travel story that also blends in like personal romance, feminism. Like it is so much fun. And for I think it's only 4 issues for a book that is only 4 issues. By the time you hit 5, thank you. By the time you hit issue 3, like just everything is blowing up and you're like, what the hell is going on? Right. It's wonderful. I cannot recommend this book enough. So Guilt is probably one of my favorites of 2022. Like and it came out right at the start, I want to say. So for me, it was a lovely find. It was just a book that I read the description of for issue 1, went and got, and was immediately smitten with. The art is great. The story is great. The end, I'll be honest, maybe a little. It ends very quickly. I think they try to wrap up a lot to make it fit into 5 issues, but still good nonetheless. So, yep. Read. Oh, good.
Can you see this book coming back in like some kind of continuation series or like another series?
I think it would be hard. I mean,
final? Okay.
It's not super final. I think it leaves just enough open that it could continue, but personally, I wouldn't want it to. I feel like it's a great one and done. It doesn't need to continue, I guess is my point. So
okay.
Yeah. Now I say that, and it's been a while since I've read the last issue. So when I revisit it, my thoughts may have changed.
We're gonna talk about it. Maybe we'll bring it up a little bit.
Yeah, there you go. So
all right. Clay.
I want to group a whole bunch of books together like you did, but just call it Black Label because all the Black Label books I got were fantastic.
Yeah.
The Rogues book it's tough to put Rogues against Catwoman, Lonely City, and One Dark Night. Those are my 3 Black Label books I absolutely love. One Dark Night is just the best format to read Jock in. It's oversized. It's got incredible art, and he wrote it, so he basically knows how the page layout should be. You know, it's a fun 3-issue book of him just drawing Batman in Gotham City and how cool of a story it is. But go to Rogues. Yeah, go to Rogues. Rogues is another great one that takes place out of the timeline where it's all the aged villains of the Flash. And, you know, they always have these moments where they get together and talk about stuff. But the great part of Rogues is they're going to rob one of their own. And they're going to go to Ape City and rob Gorilla Grodd. So this is the last big take. And so this is the last big job with an aged group of rogues, which is really great to see how they've handled each one of them. Because I absolutely love that take. And then I'll talk about Patton Oswalt's Minor Threat, which is obviously him writing the Rogues.
Nice.
Yeah. But Lonely City had Cliff Chang. And his art in that is so fantastic. I mean, Lonely City is just a pretty book.
Yeah.
Every time I see a cover, I'm like, I should pick that up. Like, you're right. Every cover is completely compelling. Like, they're incredible. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a Rogues Sienkiewicz cover that I have that I love, you know.
Ooh, nice.
But again, like in the One Dark Night are all Jock covers.
So for the One Dark Night, I bought the hardcover as soon as it came out. And then Lonely City, I bought the individual issue. Well, I guess I also bought the individual issue for One Dark Night, but then over Christmas I saw it, and it was it had just come out, and I had some Christmas spending money, so I bought the trade of Lonely City. I've only read issue 1. I haven't been able to catch up, but I mean, issue 1 is so strong. Like I think it may need to be put on my list of first time reader comics.
Oh wow,
Ooh,
yeah.
wow.
Because all you need to know is kind of like who Catwoman and Batman are, and that's kind of about it. Because it really takes you from there. Like it just uses that as the base. One of the things, I'm glad you mentioned Black Label. One of the things I want to do this year is I downloaded the list of all the Black Label titles.
Oh yeah.
So I'm going to share that with you guys, and then we can kind of make comments on like what are some of the things that are really good, what are some of the things that are not so good. Talking about you, Superman Year One. Sorry, Frank Miller. So,
Wow.
Man, I'm with you. Stop. Anyway, all right, go on.
Yeah. I mean, if you read the book, you know it's not a good book. So
I just every time I go into my Marvel.com rewards and they have the wallpaper of Frank Miller's Thing, I just vomit in my mouth a little bit because that image is awful. It is terrible.
I don't mind. Well, this one. So I guess the other thing is I'm not in love with what's his name JR's art at the moment. Romita Jr.
Oh, Romita Jr.
Yeah. I don't know if his style changed a little bit.
I love his style.
I have often been a big fan of him, but I'm kind of with you. It's almost like his style was taking a turn where it's getting more and more and more and more stylized, which I don't mind usually, but there's something to it that just it doesn't click for me anymore. I'm with you, Danny. Okay. I totally get it. So
yeah, no, I don't know what it is. I don't know what changed. I did have to Google this thing because I wanted to see it, and
is that the Frank Miller thing?
Hold on to the vomit.
God, it's so bad.
I like it.
Why is it so bad?
No, I like it. I don't know. But hey, different strokes for different folks.
Oh God, it's just
I want this cover now.
Well, if you go into your Marvel.com rewards, there's a wallpaper of it you can get. So
no, I want the physical book.
I mean, look at his mouth. Like
he's a thing. He's supposed to be grotesque at sometimes. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't feel like it does anything. Like it just. I mean, it's given him a tiny head. He's breaking apart for some reason.
Yeah, that's the thing that bugs me. Like
he's so angry.
So it's just this giant kind of mass, and that's it.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I like it. It feels pretty raw to me. So, but hey, I mean, if I had to choose between Alex Ross's thing and Frank Miller's thing, I'm always gonna go with Ross.
Can I pull that quote? You love Alex Ross's thing?
Let us know whose thing is your favorite down in the comments.
Welcome to the podcast with 6-year-olds.
That's what I bring to this podcast is 6-year-old humor.
All right, I think it's my turn. Yeah. Well, I know the book isn't over, and I don't know if I'm pretty sure I trust Charles Soule and Ryan Brown to stick the landing.
Yeah.
But 8 billion genies. Holy moly.
Good.
I saw a video of like how they kind of came up with this. It was like a random thought that their story they came up with, which is also funny because last year we hit 8 billion people on Earth, so I'm still waiting for my genie.
Right, yeah, exactly.
And then also, the cool thing is like they put this out on their store like months prior to like release. So I bought that copy, which comes signed by both of them.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, hopefully they do. They've done so many things. They did the draw your own genie variant. They for local comic book day.
Yeah,
I think this one's like, they did a lot. They've done a lot of really cool things, and the timeline is just so accelerated now. And this is like the last 2 issues that they're gonna have to cover. That I'm really I'm just very excited as to what they're gonna do. The last issue has to be like an oversized issue, right? I would think just because of the amount of time they'll have to cover.
Well, so next issue is going to be 8 years, right? Because we've
Right.
done, yeah. So then, what's the last issue? Is it like 80?
I would
years?
think it'd be 80 years.
Okay, that's kind of what I was thinking, but
Or
so I would
or 8 billion years. Who knows? I don't
oh
know.
God. So the only reason this didn't make my list is because I am a little worried about how it's going to end.
Yeah.
If they don't stick the landing, then this immediately comes off my list because it's like it's such a great concept and they've been
Yep.
really running with it, which I love. But I am getting, yeah.
I'm curious because, yeah, like you said in the last issue, I'm sure there are people who wish that they would never die. And that would seem to be like a common wish that would show up at the end of people who probably want to die.
I mean, there's a big twist. I don't want to spoil the big twist, but when we get to learn a little bit more of the backstory of the bartender, that gives us an inclination of like how where things could be kind of going.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I said maybe it could be like maybe it's like 8,000 years or something like that. Where they need a really long time to really get to where you know where things are going. Also, the shape of an 8 to me feels like an infinity thing where
oh
like a loop.
Shit, I hadn't even thought about that. Yeah, that's a good point.
You know, I'm not a writer, so I don't know.
No, that's spot on. I hadn't even thought about that. That's incredible.
So but I mean, also, I don't want to discount Ryan Brown's art, and I don't know how involved he is with the storytelling, but the designs that he gets to do, like in this world, I love the shots of the Earth from like space and how different it looks. Like every time they go back to it, all the little like Easter eggs and references. I haven't even. I need to go back and once it's all completed, just go back and look. Because I'm pretty sure I've seen like a Star Wars ship or something. Because of course you would wish you have like a Star Wars thing or a Star Trek thing or, you know.
There was a Gundam in like issue 2 or 3.
Yeah.
I mean, like in the background, right? Yeah.
When they go outside,
wish they became like kaijus and stuff like that. But the last few issues with this whole idea of the Idea Man and that one I'm not so sure I'm super on board with. I don't know. I think we'll definitely see. That's the only thing that I'm a little apprehensive about. The whole kind of plot about the Idea Man, which was also the first time that we kind of went back in time.
Right.
Yeah.
So and maybe that's the way they cover a longer amount of time, right? We go back in time and then learn a little bit about the past of some of this stuff. So I don't know, but I'm excited. Charles Soule's a great writer. I mean, he's doing all the cool Star Wars stuff as well. But it's
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's like
in charge.
The equivalent of Dave Filoni for the literature stuff.
Oh wow, I had no idea.
At least with the High Republic stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know his official title at Lucasfilm. So, but yeah, 8 Billion Genies. Go check it out. Go check out all our videos. I'm doing a review for every issue because it needs to be
good.
done.
It's like one of my favorite books of the year too. I mean, every issue had a hook. And I mean, going in knowing the time frame, it's just the characters that you have to like get to know, and as they make their wishes, how things evolve. Like it just hooks you to want that next issue one after another. I loved it.
And after issue 1, it was like greenlit for like a TV series or something.
Right. Which I was gonna bring up because I'm kind of curious. Like, it's not that I don't think they can't do that faithfully. I think they can. But when they announce it, I want to see that it's only going to be like 8 episodes, right? I don't want this like Walking Dead scenario where they take the hook of the show and then just drag it out for like 12 years. I mean, because what makes the comic so great is every issue you jump ahead a little bit, and you see how things are going. So,
to be fair, The Walking Dead was 193 chapters or issues.
Well, okay, true. Okay, let's say I can't think of a good example
of something that was dragged out.
I think Paper Girls, if it had continued, had the perfect pacing to just be like a couple of seasons.
I still have to watch Paper Girls. I love the first.
It got canceled. I read.
Yeah, that's why
Yeah.
it's not like very high on my queue, because I hear people say it's amazing, but I also don't want to get hooked and then be like, I want more. Maybe it's my fault that I
Right.
didn't watch it.
See, this is one of the
Yeah,
downsides of
Danny.
all these, like Amazon and Netflix
Yeah.
owning these properties, is if they
Right.
don't want to make anything, it's just going to sit there. Like,
Yeah.
that sucks, because Paper Girls is a great story, and they should let somebody else do it if they're just going to cancel it after one season.
Yeah.
That just
Yeah.
sucks, because it just ruins any opportunity for you to see it.
You know,
Yeah.
and it's funny because we've seen how streaming services work the opposite direction, right? Think of the Orville, which is they'll take something that, or even AP Bio, which I know is kind of like still NBC, but it's like they'll take something that didn't fail or that got canceled or failed in mainstream and translate that to stream. But we haven't seen the opposite. We haven't seen like, hey, let's pick up, Paper
A
Girls
streaming
or,
show and move it to
Right,
a
and then
network.
yeah. Yeah.
I feel like there's room for it, though. What's odd, though, is
Sorry, I completely
Look.
forgot to look at the comments.
Look, it's a new year. We should all love our own things. Okay, so
Self-love.
I love my man thing.
I love my Swamp Thing.
And Josh loves Frank Miller's thing.
How dare you?
And then this one's about 8 billion genies.
But you know what? It's if you didn't dig the art, I'm sorry, because I loved it. I loved the stylized look of it, and just from going into the bar to going out into the world that's been affected by this. Like, would be well. Okay, so what is your wish? Each one of you. Your genie shows up and says, "You have one wish. You have 60 seconds."
Why? How
Okay,
long? They don't have a time. They don't have a time limit.
Yeah, no. Here's the thing. I know me. I would be the guy that would be too indecisive to ever make a wish. I'm the guy at the end of time with my genie still floating over my shoulder. That's me. I know this for a fact.
I
So
will say, now that I've read the book, the wish like that the barkeeper had is pretty good one.
is a good one. Yeah.
I would
That's a
maybe
really good
like
one.
augment it to include like food and utilities. But that's that's
Very detailed.
probably, yeah. Make
I don't
me.
know,
You know
I'm
what? You know what it's gonna be. You know
I'm
what it's
wishing
gonna
for
be?
superpowers. I'm wishing to live in the Ultron body with all the Infinity Stones.
Oh, that's a good one.
I think that's what I want. I don't
want-
want to feel anymore. Being me hurts too much. I want to be a robot.
I want all the comics with a pair of indestructible glasses, so I don't get Twilight.
Smart. Good move. Someone's watched Twilight Zone.
Yeah. It's a cautionary tale.
Yeah, exactly.
So cool. Josh, I'll let you go again here.
All right. I will go with something a little more mainstream since I went pretty indie last time. It's not done yet, but goddamn Batman Fortress is so good. Just so good.
Yeah.
The story is great. The art is great. It is, and I hate to say this because I like a lot of like mainstream stuff. It is just a return to fun comics. It's just
good.
fun. Like you can pick it up and read and get done and just feel like I just had a good time. It is trying to tell a bigger story, but it's just so much fun. Like, oh God, the book is so great. Yeah. Batman Fortress. It is the kind of book that if somebody walked up to me and said, I want to read a comic. I went to the store. It's all Axe Judgment Day and like all this shit. I don't know what to read. I would hand them that or the new FF. Like these would be the things I would hand them. Like something you really don't need any prior knowledge of, and you're just going to sit down and read a comic and walk away with a smile on your face. Yeah. Batman Fortress, it was just wonderful. And I think it's almost done, right? We got 2 issues left.
I think so. Yeah, I think there's
6
2 more.
issues.
Yeah.
And so
this is a weird one because it feels like Black Label, but it's not, and whatever. I don't know, continuity. But
well, and it's not as dark as a Black Label. I mean, and this was the question I had a few weeks ago: is when is this happening? Is this out of continuity? Is it in continuity? Like, what is going on? You know?
Yeah, who knows? I do like Derek Robertson's Batman. Like,
yeah,
seems
I do
pretty
too.
bristle. I mean, obviously, it reminds me a lot of Butch, because, right, from The Boys, because it's the same artist.
Same artist,
Yeah. Yeah.
But
he's
I guess
he's
his
always
Bruce
got
Wayne,
like
not so much as Batman. His Bruce Wayne reminds me. It looks a lot like Butch.
oh yeah, I could see that.
Oh, Butch,
So
Butcher.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's been a while
Butcher.
since I've seen The Boys.
Billy Butcher.
Billy Butcher. Cool. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree completely. I love the story took a turn because the issue 1 felt like it was gonna be one thing, and then it just blows up into this massive like intergalactic story, and I'm like, with Batman, okay, sure.
Right, like, and it's so funny because if you read the title, like, it takes a while for the title to make sense. If you read the title and you read the first issue, you're like, okay, I understand the fortress now is going to be Gotham, and you are painfully wrong. Like, because I was really wrong when I got to the second issue. I'm like, yeah, like you said, I know where this is going. Oh, I don't know where this is going. So, and people show up you don't expect. I mean, the cast of characters around Batman are just crazy, just insane. It's so wonderful.
I think is it Chip? That's the name of I think that's the name of the Green Lantern, Chip.
The Green Lantern, I think it's Chip. Cool. And then like I didn't know all the characters. I really had to look them up. They're that obscure to me. So
it's really good. Good. I'm glad. That one was close, but I think there's other Batman. I didn't want to just make a Batman list.
So. Right. No, that would be easy. So yeah.
Cool. Clay.
I know that earlier in the year, but I just finished the 3rd issue. So Historia, the Wonder Woman story by Kelly Sue DeConnick. Issue 2 was by Gene Ha. Issue 3 is by Nicholas Scott. Wow. Like, to not outdo, but I feel like compliment George Perez's Wonder Woman. Historia is an amazing book. I know it's kind of its own separate thing, even though it's a Black Label book, because it's specifically about Wonder Woman with 3 different artists to fit a time frame. It's just so amazing. Like, I love that they do big books like this. All the covers are fantastic.
God, that's beautiful.
There are splash pages in this that are amazing. Just the look of Zeus, like, I mean, they design all the gods, but man, when they put Zeus in a panel, it's just massive and epic. And it has this glow, this color, this blue glow about him. That's just very cool. But then you go through all the Amazons and their cool designs. And the story is just fantastic. Like, what it leads up to. Kelly Sue put out in her Milk Fed newsletter, like, the breakdown of the story and talked about a lot of it. So if you're not reading her Milk Fed stuff, I would check it out. It's her and Matt Fraction together. But she did some definite inside Historia stuff after the 3rd issue came out. There's like elements of Wonder Woman stories I love. I love, like, the Amazon stories. This is probably one of the best. I will put it up there and rank it as one of the best stories out there. It is, to me, I would say it's a book. If you want to read Wonder Woman, this is a great place to start.
Nice.
I agree. And again, this was, I believe, like the 2nd book announced for Black Label back in, I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, it was a while back, because the 2nd issue came out last year.
It was Batman Damned, Wonder Woman Historia, and Superman Year 1, because they wanted, like, it was the and I think maybe Harleen. Like, those were some of the first ones announced, but obviously the first issue came out in November of 2021, but the last 2 issues came out in 2022. And it's been, and I think this is it. I think this is the whole story now.
Yeah, it's the whole story. So, and it ends with 3. When they collect it, I recommend the hardback. I'm sure there's going to be amazing artwork that they didn't even use in this.
Yeah, the collection
sounds good.
So
like, you can flip through it and just look at the art and be in awe.
They did, like, these mock leather bound
Ooh.
variants. I hope that the collection is something kind of like this, even if it has a slipcover with some Wonder Woman.
Oh, right. Yep.
Like
That would be awesome.
I would love it if it looks like this. Yeah, it's great. All the variant, like look, Janique Paquette's variant for issue 3.
That's the one I got.
It is I
Dude.
think everyone
I
that
don't think I
worked
have
on
it.
this book just brought their A game. And yeah, and it was such a fun process to like watch Phil Jimenez. Do you guys? Do you remember when we went to Zeus for free comic book day and we like stayed for the
talk?
Yeah, I think then he was working on this book.
Yeah. He was.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
I don't know if he was drawing Wonder Woman. I don't know if it was for the book, but we saw him draw Wonder Woman. Now it's
That was back when I could drive, so that's at least 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, I asked him about it, like, and it was just very exciting. So, really cool stuff. I can't wait to. I haven't read issue 3. I think I'm just gonna reread the whole thing. So, cool. All right, let me take another crack at one of these. Let's see. Okay, next up is gonna be for me, True Cult. This is a 5-issue miniseries from IDW. Scott Bryan Wilson and Liana Kangas. It's about and I've talked about this a little bit in some other places, but it's about some fast food workers, and you think originally it's kind of a heist book, but it turns into like they end up getting into some issues with like this satanic cult, and then it goes really supernatural. But the book, it's really funny, it's really interesting, it's full of like weird, quirky characters, and it's just a lot of fun. I don't know why my Siri is listening to me. I don't know what I said to turn it on.
I
But
didn't get that.
It was the word cult that set it off.
No, I'm needed.
The cult of
it is.
I'm needed.
It is just so much fun. This is one of those IDW originals. So IDW launched a bunch of originals. This one's probably my favorite of the bunch. The Scott Snyder book is also really good. I think it's like about those fire jumpers. I forget what it's called, but like people that go up fires, put fires.
Yeah.
But this one's just, it's so much fun. It's really like one of my favorite characters is this girl who wants to get a job at the fast food place, and then she like stuff happens. But every like throughout the whole book, no matter what is happening, no matter what the situation they're on, she's still treating it like she's at a job interview. So like it's really funny. And then
that's
Liana
awesome.
Kangas' art. Yeah, I love Liana Kangas' art. I always pick up her variants, but this is one of the first books I've seen interiors. She does have a new book with Boom called Know Your Station, which the second issue comes out next week, so I'll be reviewing that for the channel. But yeah, True Cult, IDW. If you haven't, you can. I think all issues are now on Hoopla. If you have that service, you could probably borrow it, and I'm sure the collected edition will be there soon. IDW is really good about collecting their works, so yeah, and it's some really cool variants as well, like really talented people behind those. So couldn't ask for a better, just fun, weird, not superhero stuff. Josh, I'll let you go next.
Yeah, sorry, my internet is acting up. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
All right, cool. So, it's fine now. Yeah, so my next one is an image book called I Hate This Place. And I really like this book. It's say
it's
on that thing where they went through fuck this place. Actually, I believe the real title is I Hate This Place, but all the alternate covers have fuck this place on it. So it's this great horror comic about a couple who inherit a cabin. You can see where this is going. But what's interesting about it is it almost turns into a survival book because it is horror driven. But what's great is the the minute they get into the cabin, the first night, in the evening, all these like monsters, these like specters start coming towards the cabin. And if the specters touch you, bad things happen. And so they lock themselves in the cabin and then find basically a basement where the previous owners, who are related to one of the couple, have a video that basically explains, yeah, this is what happens. You're just kind of you're stuck here overnight. Like, and then throw in a really creepy crime story. And this book is just great. Like, it doesn't stop. It is like a breathless sort of book. And one of the great things I really like about it is, rather than it being it's over the course of one night sort of thing, the couple decide to stay there. they're going to figure this shit out. Yeah, and so basically, like, the story just goes on with them like not leaving, and it's and there's sort of a narrative hook for why they want to stay there, but it's great, and so I think they did 6 issues, and then sort of like Saga, they're taking a break as they're prepping the next storyline. So it's not done, but if you just read the first 6, you kind of get the setup of where the book is going. It's great. The art is great. The writing is great. The characters are great. If you like horror comics, definitely check this one out.
Okay.
The tone to me feels like it reminds me of Cabin in the Woods.
Yep.
Just the tone of the book, not so much like the plot has. Well, I mean, it's not completely not related, but it's very different.
It doesn't get as meta, but
the tone of the book. The art, I think it's really cool. Like, all the character designs are, and the creatures and everything. Like, I mean, you can see this cover, from this cover, like everything. But it's also like really funny some places, like very humorous. Where maybe, I don't know, it's a good mix. It's definitely a good mix. I think, Clay, have you read this?
No, but
I think you would really like it. Like this,
I think you would too. Yeah. It doesn't take itself too seriously. I'm glad you brought up the humor, Danny, because it's
I mean, with a name like this, you can
right, exactly. Yeah. It's a great book. I'm really excited to see where it goes. I like the fact, I think I've been reading so many self-contained stories lately, like Guilt or Survival Street, or it was nice to start a series that feels like it's going to be ongoing. I haven't really had that in a while, so I think that's also what made it interesting to me.
These are some of the other books that Kyle Stark has written, so it gives.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it gives you a bit of
Secret Wars is that
a flavor. It's the Secret Wars 2, which is like the funny version of like the retelling of it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
As you can see here from Dr. Doom.
Oh wow, I would not have expected like Rick and Morty and Invader Zim.
Yeah. This is a one shot. It was supposed to be like a funny take on Secret Wars, a Marvel Comics.
Marvel Comics non-event.
That's awesome. The Beyonder suit.
Look at this.
Yeah,
most likely to become a god twice.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
like Charles Xavier next to him, all bald as a kid.
Yeah. Kyle Stark is a really funny dude. So I think. Yeah, Clay, I think you should hunt this down.
I think you would dig it. Yeah,
I'll check it out.
You can borrow my copy if you want.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll see if it makes sense of a review.
Yeah, we need to plan a meetup.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I know we do. Yeah.
All right. Am I up next?
Speaking of Clay, what else, Clay?
Donny Cates is finishing out his Thor and Hulk runs, and I absolutely loved him this year. Like, I'm a big Donny Cates fan, and I always think when he picks up a book, he just looks to make it bigger and more fun. He was following Jason Aaron on Thor, and I feel like all his Thor stuff was fun and amazing, and like just the stuff he did with Galactus at the beginning up to like where he's left the book. And then his Hulk run was just as fun because it was like, what if the Hulk appeared because it was protecting us from Banner, and so he found an evil version of Bruce Banner in the universe, and found a corresponding peaceful one who had like destroyed his place, destroyed Earth by empowering it. He was like a modern day Oppenheimer who created a gamma bomb, and then Thunderbolt Ross just used the fuck out of that bomb.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. And
Oh
so,
my God.
and so it's great because the story is like he's pulling these monsters that are traveling through dimensions out looking for the Hulk. And that's how it starts. So I haven't gotten current with it, but like this year, those have been the funnest books. Like he makes comics fun, and I think that's what I enjoy the most about Donny Cates' books. And when he teams up with Ryan Ottley, it's fantastic. Vanish, I mean, if I'd stayed with that might be one of my favorite books because I love the first issue so much. I love their art and their teamwork together. But yeah, if I was to pick, I would say Thor was great at the beginning, but that was like the year before. I would say Hulk over Thor as far as those two. But yeah, I love Donny Cates' stuff, and I know he's dropping off some books for now, but I hope he comes back because I love his stuff.
Yeah, it's whatever's going on, I hope everything's good because we love his stuff. And like you mentioned, I mean, I'll also give a shout out to Vanish. The only reason I put it on my list is because it's really only been 4 issues, and it's still kind of premature. But these 4 issues do conclude the first arc. I mean, if you're part of the KLC newsletter, you'll see kind of what they have planned. And yeah, Thor's been amazing from the beginning. Like I have loved. There was like a 2-issue stint where there was like this little Venom thing that they were setting up. I was not a big fan of that one. It also has a lot to do with the artist that was on there. Is not one of my favorites, but Nick Klein's been super solid on Thor.
Wow, yeah.
I think there's been other people that kind of came in, and Nick Klein's back with the guest artist. I don't know how to say their name because it's like Icelandic. It's like Tornburn something. I don't know, but go check it out. But yeah, Ryan Ottley and Donny Cates just like doing some super cool, violent, explosive stuff. And then even
the truest anti-hero of all is this Vanish character.
And last year we got the big Thor Hulk crossover because it was both of their 60 years anniversary.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, highly recommend it. Go check it out. I think Ryan Ottley is gonna finish out the run by himself, which is really interesting. Like that he gets I mean, obviously he probably knows where Donny Cates was gonna go with the story.
Yeah,
right. But it's going to be interesting to see. It's always interesting when you see an artist cross over into a writing duties.
Yeah.
So that's very cool. And yeah, go check out Vanish. I think you'll like if you like these big bombastic comics that are can get super violent and super just like all about cool stuff. Like I think you'll like if it's very very reminiscent of like those 90 like comics. So I do really enjoy that.
I did too. I mean, like the first issue was the big hook. Like when you get to the end of the first issue, you're on board.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I'll go next. This one's also, I guess, I just want to talk about X-Men because
let's talk about X-Men.
I'm out. No, go ahead.
I love Jonathan Hickman's run. And when I saw that he was stepping away, I was a little bit sad because, I mean, he had set up so much really cool stuff. Everything post Hoxpox, which is fun to say, has been really interesting. And the things that were set up for that. But my goodness, Gary Duggan just came in and said, "Hold my beer." And what I love about Gary Duggan's run is that
love it.
He found a way to keep everything connected to Hoxpox, but then also move them back. I mean, they're back in New York, which a lot of people like, that they're in New York doing superhero stuff. X-Men is now once again the superhero book that the people wanted to read. And Hickman did a little bit of the superhero stuff, but like X-Men now feels like threats are coming from them. Like this gambling planet that's put out a hit on Earth, like that subplot's really cool. And then also the stuff with like people on Earth, like dealing with them. Yeah, it's just been, and then the new roster, like after I love that. I hope they keep changing the roster every year at the Hellfire Gala, because that's one of my favorite events of the year. Just like the whole, everyone having to dress up for no fucking, like, it makes no sense.
It doesn't make sense, but yeah, like plugging something that it appeals to like you and other people, and
Yeah.
it's neat to see cool designs. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
not a big
And-
thing for me, but I will look at the art.
Yeah, and the vote has started, so you can go in and vote for who you want to be on the X-Men roster for this year. So
Oh,
they can start
really?
working on
That's
that.
interesting.
Yeah. Because I think one of the characters that we vote on, you don't pick out the whole roster, but you pick out like one of them, which Boom Boom should have won last year, but that's just me. Yeah, the Fuzzy Elf, he's busy with his own. I need to catch up on Legion of X because he's busy doing high religious, spiritual shit with Legion, and it's so weird. Yeah, that book, I need to take a step back because Cy Spurrier, he's really good at writing that book, though. I don't think anybody writes Legion better than Simon Spurrier.
And I got to admit, I am curious because when you like in this world of mutants, when you discovered that you cannot die, how does that change how do you pivot on religion? Do you create your own religion and realize that you're a god because you can't die?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like
Right.
Kurt's in a weird place because he was so Christian that he can remold a mutant religion around the way they live.
Yeah. I do want to mention quickly X-Men Red. This is the Al Ewing book. It just wrapped up actually last week with issue 10. With this one, issue 10. It's so good. Al Ewing is just so good at doing the cosmic stuff.
Yeah,
like,
he is.
He's doing the Defenders. He got me interested, even if Dan Slott was on the book with the Empire stuff last year, or maybe the year before that. Maybe that was the year before that. But yeah, Al Ewing is such a good writer. Storm is like at the forefront of this book, and it's so cool because she's like such a badass. So that's kind of like an honorable mention. And I have another one, but I'll save it for the next book because they're very tied to each other. So go read X-Men. If you're reading only one X-Men title, make it the main X-Men title. All right.
Oh,
Josh?
I guess it's me now again, eh?
Mhm.
All right, I'll keep flip-flopping. I'm going to go to another kind of mainstream book. Actually, you know what? I'm going to mix it up a little bit because I just remembered this one. I pulled it off the shelf. I'm not recommending the entire series, and that's only because this is the only one I've read. But One Bad Day Riddler.
Oh, the One Bad Day.
Even as just a standalone book, phenomenal. So good. So good. Again, I don't know. Are you guys reading the whole series? Like, how are the others
They are
compared to this
excellent.
one?
But this one,
Are they as good as this one?
this one's the best one. But they
Okay.
are really good. I was gonna put that on like my honorable mention. I didn't put it on my list, but it is my favorite single issue I've read last year. I was about to go take a restroom break. I was about to message you, and then you pulled
Oh,
up.
sorry.
The book. I was like, no, I gotta stick around. I'm not missing out talking about this book.
It's
So
this
if you want to do another book, Josh, and then go Clay.
okay.
But yeah,
Sure.
it's freaking amazing. Mitch Gerard's art is
Oh, the
fantastic.
whole-
Always
Yeah.
great.
The stuff
always
they do
great.
with go ahead.
well, I was gonna say. I mean, they're such a great team together. So it's Tom King, Mitch Gerard. They work so
Yes.
well. It's an amazing book, and I think we discussed at the time. To me, this is the quintessential Riddler origin, right? Just so good. So there's that. Really quickly, the other mainstream book, I'll say mainstream, is Excellent. The Marvel return of Mike Allred and it's not Peter Milligan. Yeah, it is.
Milligan.
Yeah, with their, so they take this idea of the original X-Men who were the kind of like rock stars and then update it for the influencer 21st century world, and it just works so well. Excellent. It's great. It's also a book that they kind of did the first storyline and they're on break right now, which to me suggests that they're trying to keep it just those two creators. They're kind of doing a saga. They just want to keep it. I mean, because you can't have anyone else draw this. It's got to be Allred, you know?
Yeah.
So also just a great book. And I mean, and for, you know, there've been so many revivals lately. You know, I'll talk about this, for instance.
Oh, wow.
There've been
Yeah.
so many revivals lately, but Excellent is the one revival that isn't a revival. It is a bringing up to date because it has comments to make about our current social media environment.
Yeah, because Ecstatic was like his first comment. Was like it
Right.
was superheroes as influencers before influencers.
Exactly. As like rock stars, right? As like
Right.
they understood that being a superhero wasn't about, it was almost the inverse of the original Marvel idea. It's not about superheroes as tortured. It's superheroes as living the life. And the ironic thing is everyone dies all the time.
Yeah. So no one's safe in that book. That's the fun part, is watching them. And they're celebrities. So on a certain level, like they would approach events as like, well, this really doesn't, you know, my time's too important for this. Like they wouldn't fight certain crimes because it wasn't a big deal, or like they were too drunk to respond. I mean, they were, you know, that was the fun part, is you saw them acting like real people.
Yeah.
And then you had Dupe.
And then you had Dupe, who's still there. God bless Dupe.
Love Dupe.
Yeah. It's a great book. Now, it is the sort of book you kind of need to go read Ecstatic for, right? Or else it's really not going to make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I wonder if it does make sense, because Ecstatic was a book of its time, and it would definitely feed into this a lot. I loved it. I mean, I like his art, so it was fantastic, and the concept of the way people were dying was incredible. And then to have a girl on the team named Dead Girl, and you're just like, well, what's going to happen with her?
Yeah, exactly.
I loved it. I mean, I remember the first couple of issues, he killed off so many people. Like it felt like every issue had a death at the end, and so we were getting a new character in every book after that. So
right. Yeah, it's I mean, I didn't reread Ecstatic before I picked up Excellence, but I had to remember a lot.
I've been thinking about buying the omnibus for that one, because it's such a specific book.
That's a good,
you know, and I've seen it up at my store, Urban Legends, and they even have it half price. Please send money to me, and I will buy.
I was going to say, I'm not saying you should buy it, but you should buy it. No, anyway. So anyway, that's two more for me. Clay, you're up.
The long-term series that's a 12-issue maxi series, it just has started back up this year, is DC versus Vampires, because this is when I discovered Otto Schmidt's art, and it is fucking fantastic. And then you're also, I mean, you're going on a ride with James Tynion and Matthew Rosenberg. All the alternate covers are fantastic. Like I think I've talked about how we will pick out a cover for our anniversary and put it on the wall. The Batman #1 cover was from last year, and that's one of the ones we put up because it's Batman as a vampire. It just looks cool as hell. It's painted. But they continued the last part of that series up this year with Otto Schmidt. I mean, I'm just going to talk about Otto Schmidt's art. That guy looks like fantastic. That guy's pencils are amazing. The way he draws superhero women with muscle tone is fantastic. The way he has capes drape, like there's so many elements of his art I absolutely love, and it is on showcase in this book. Like you get to see the coolest shit, because you're going to get to see, I mean, like there's like the whole Batman family, and some of them become vampires and some don't. And who's the best detective in that bunch to figure it out? Like it's just little cool nuggets like that they write into each individual story. And then it's like who who's going to survive, because you start finding out all the superheroes have become vampires. So again, Otto Schmidt. It's his book to run. Like, we already talk about James Tynion the Fourth. Like, we talk about his books, and whenever he writes something like Last House on the Lake, like the kind of stuff you're getting. Rosenberg is really fantastic in this as well, because you could tell like the two elements. I feel like Tynion leans into the horror, where Rosenberg leads into the superhero stuff, and it just gels great with that artwork. But yeah, one of my favorite ones. I probably will buy the hardback of this.
Yeah,
nice.
I agree. I agree with everything Clay say. It is. I think when the series launched, I think it was like Halloween 2021.
Yeah.
But two series came out. It was this and Task Force Z, which was like the zombie one or whatever.
Yeah, that's right.
That one. I need to go back and check it out again. It was not like, I was like, I can only keep reading one of these ongoings because I'm already reading too many things.
And now we have Sergeant Rock and the army fighting the Army of the Dead.
Yeah. DC Vampires was DC versus Vampires was hey, there it is. It was so much fun. We did have a comment on the review for the last issue that somebody didn't really enjoy the ending. And I think that might be a little bit divisive just because of the way it ends, or so if you read it, you kind of probably know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I'm glad to see this on your list. I'm gonna echo what you said about Otto Schmidt, and I think it was Simone DeMille who came in for like a fill-in, like he was doing some stuff with the Suicide Squad. Well, like that part of the story.
Yeah.
Whose art is also very cool, really stylized. And I think it's Rafael Grampa who was doing some covers. Yeah, just everyone that worked on this book. I hope it gets the Deceased treatment where we just kind of get more of it later on. Which Deceased is wrapping up. There's also I think there's two one shots and one mini, like the All Out War story that Alex Pagnadol wrote. That's all in black, white, and red. That one's also very good.
Yeah.
And it fills in a little bit of the gaps from the second part of the story. So, yep, highly recommend this one as well. So make sure to go check it out.
Yeah, I just found it's the 6th issue. It's Rex Locus is the artist that took over for Otto Schmidt.
Yeah. He gets a few fill-ins. Clay, why don't you give us another one? I see you still got a few more on your list.
Yeah,
Josh has like maybe a couple more, and I only really have one more. So go ahead and give us a couple more.
Okay, I'm just gonna knock out these fun books because I love Jason Aaron's run on Avengers Forever. It is a collection of misfits from the multiverse trying to get together, and it's wild because it's Miles Morales, Deathlock, and the current Ghost Rider, and it starts off with Tony Stark's a universe where Tony Stark is Ant-Man. Like, it's a lazy Tony Stark. Like, he only becomes Ant-Man because he kind of threw some things together. Like, he has all this knowledge, but just wastes it. And the world kind of collapsed around him. And so he's like one of the few heroes left. And so they travel through dimensions to find the best of what's left. There's an issue that's a Captain America one that's like, these are all Steve Rogers from different dimensions that failed. And now they've been locked away as prisoners and can't escape. And there are different versions of it, even a dog version of Steve Rogers. And they all have been failures. And so they're trying to escape this prison. And it's just like probably one of my favorite issues of the year. That with Aaron Gruder, art, love it. But again, like his art is sporadic throughout it, so it's not ongoing, but he does do all the covers. And I'm a huge fan of his art. Oh, and then there's the Captain Marvel issue.
Nice.
Like it's if you've read so many comics and you've got all this knowledge, and you know, like, multiverses are fun when you know how to play with them. And Jason Aaron's playing with them and just having a great time. Like, I love every issue of this book. from the cover to the end because Aaron's art pulls me in, Jason Aaron's story locks me in, and even if Magruder's art isn't on the inside, it's still a great book. It's still fun. Wastelanders. I know that they put out.
Sorry, Clay. Before you move on,
yeah.
I'm gonna wait to read Avengers Forever because it is now tied in with the main series. So
Okay.
I think this is all leading you to the end of Jason Aaron's run. So I think it'll read better once it's all done, just because you have to go back and forth between the series at the end.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I'm very excited.
Could you try
again? Alexa, what did you think?
I need to turn Siri off during the show.
She really wants to be part of the podcast.
You know, we definitely should. Oh, we definitely should have a more diverse cast, but we have what we have.
The Wastelanders books were shot. I think they were doing a podcast originally that was part of a Marvel deal with SiriusXM that they were doing. This.
Yes, that's right.
The standalone issues, like I don't give a shit. I'm not going to go get a subscription to that just to listen to some podcast.
You don't have to actually. They're free because I think you get them first if you subscribe. But I was gonna listen to the Doctor Doom one, but then I realized 30 seconds in, I have no idea what's going on, and I'm not gonna go listen to like 5 seasons of a podcast to catch up. Anyway, go on. I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's so fun. Like these were all one shots, but yeah, if you collect them in a trade, they're fun to read. They're all just the heroes living in that post-apocalyptic Earth with Old Man Logan, Old Man Hawkeye. You've got Black Widow, and they all have their own stories that are just great standalone issues. And so it's just kind of a little pocket world. And I think Ethan Sachs wrote all of them. Is he listed there?
This one's Corbin Gronk. This is Grombeck, who's the writer doing Thor right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think there were different ones. Ethan Sachs was doing the Old Man Hawkeye, Old Man
Hawkeye, Old Man
Quill. But yeah, this is all kind of based on that. I'm pretty sure Doom was my favorite one.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, it's magic related and Mephisto related and about his mom because she's trapped in hell always. It was really good, but I mean they're all really good. So I would also recommend you check out the this collected edition now. Oh, that's Wolverine.
And the covers, like the covers go together to and I collected all those. I mean, loved all of it. Like it's just a fun, like, again, I think when you've been reading comics as long as we have, you get into the multiverses because it's a way to just mix shit up and to see what these heroes would be like if they were the last ones left, if they were the result of the reason the Earth is this way, like who's still fighting the fight and who's given up. Like that's, I kind of like dig that concept, and that's what Wastelanders is. It's just the last of the heroes, and are they still heroes?
Yep. And I mean, it all goes back to the Old Man Logan story. So like, if you enjoy that, I think this is just like you get more and more and more. There's like an Avengers of the Wastelands book that's also like a legacy heroes of like who's still around.
Yeah.
So yeah, great series.
And my favorite book of the year is The Secret History of the War on Weed.
I remember that.
Duggan does it again, man. That book is so funny and is so spot on. Like for us old people who lived through the 80s, it is just a comedic satire of what that bullshit was like. That macho man bullshit hero who goes out and then discovers weed and loves it and changes his mind. That's just the weirdest pivot in a book. And it is so funny. Like, it's the funniest book I've read all year. I'm trying to think of anything else that I'd looked through that it just every page filled with just glorious art that looks like it was done in the 80s and 90s of just steroid built man who's just gonna spread the message of weed.
Yeah, so good. So good.
The contrast of when he's high and like kind of like seeing all these things and how it looks, Like just so cool. Yeah, Scott Kobush, the artist, did a fantastic job there. So if you like the old Deadpool that Duggan and Posehn did, I think you're gonna really enjoy this because it has that fun to it.
That tone to it, yeah.
Yeah, I believe there was a follow up to this year too. I forgot.
Oh,
what it's
that's right.
called,
There
though.
was. Yeah. No, I seem to recall this too.
Really, what was it called?
It didn't have a weed. It didn't have weed in the comments though. In the
It was a Secret War.
Secret War on Weed. Let's see. I'll find it here in a minute.
But like I know Duggan's like he started out as a comedy writer, and like it pays off in this book hella big. It is so funny. For some of the political stuff, you may need to be older or look it up. But yeah, the way the government has like kept weed out of normal people's hands over the decades and why is a bunch of bullshit. The people running the country, a bunch of bullshitters. Did you find it?
I think it's this one.
Holiday Party?
No, maybe not. This one's also Gary Duggan though.
Oh, okay.
But it is the same team. It may be connected to it.
Well, I'll pick it up because I love that. I love that team. Holiday Party. When's it come out? It
came out last week, I believe. Oh, January 4th. Yeah, this week.
Oh, okay.
This came
All
out.
right.
Let me see. I'm trying to see.
The last book I had on here was Primordial.
That's the one I'm thinking of. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So this is them. That's Brian Posehn and Gary Duggan and Scott Kobush on the cover. That's really funny.
That's so
Anyways,
cool.
Sorry, Clay. Go ahead.
Oh, that's okay. No, the last book I had was Primordial. Did you guys read Primordial?
Yes.
It gave me such a Grant Morrison vibe. I loved it, but damn it, it's not. Who wrote it?
Jeff Lemire.
Lemire? Is it Jeff
Yeah.
Lemire?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's a trippy Jeff Lemire book about animals that get launched into space by our governments and what happens to them. Reading it monthly was one that paid off. Like this was a monthly book that like it was at the top of the stack every time it came out.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's weird, odd. The ending pays off. I loved it. The art is really weird, but it's a Lemire book. So, if you love Jeff Lemire with his like high-end concepts of stuff he puts out, this is another one of them. And, like I said, it's got the U.S. flag on the monkey that it's sent to space. And
Yeah.
Russia used to send
right.
dogs and monkeys to space.
It
Maybe they meet up. Maybe there's a team up. Who knows?
It feels like the sci-fi version of the what was the horror book that he was doing? Gideon Falls.
Gideon Falls. Oh yeah.
Because it's the same team. It's Sorrentino and Stuart Donard.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I actually as opposed to Clay, I read the first issue, and then I waited till the 6th issue was out, and then I read it all in one shot. But it's very good. I think if you like some of this like weird sci-fi stuff, alternate timelines type of thing, I think you'll definitely enjoy this book a lot.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's out there. So it's as opposed to the War on Weed, which is just filled with laughs. This is like a mind bender.
It's not as sad as We Three, since you brought up Morrison, but it's in that
We Three
direction.
though is still one of my favorite all-time.
Yeah. No,
I
I
love
remember
We
reading
Three.
it and I was like, why did you recommend this to me? It's so bad. Okay. Josh, you want to go? Oh no, let me. So I do have two. I forgot. I skipped one on purpose because that one's my favorite. So, I want to mention Kieran Gillen wrote Judgment Day, the Avengers, X-Men, Eternals crossover. And the only reason I didn't put Eternals on here, even though I read it last year, is because it came out in 2021. But it's really all part of the same thing. Like I highly, highly recommend you read his Eternals run, Gillen's Eternals run, that leads into this Avengers, X-Men, Eternals crossover. That also really ties in his Immortal X-Men run. Like everything is all part of the same story, and it's gonna continue in that Sins of Sinister stuff that's happening this year.
Yeah.
So yeah, highly like I got my Marvel calendar for 2023 at the shop.
I picked that up too. Yeah,
so
it's somewhere.
So Kieran
Explain
Gillen,
to me the Nightcrawlers series that's coming out of that.
there's going to be a bunch of series that are like alternate futures, but man, Judgment Day was just like, it was a super solid event. All the times were amazing. Like everything, I think kind of like Clay mentioned with Devil's Reign, like everything was good. The stories that were really tied into the event were good. The stories that were more like removed from the event, they were also good because they just had such talented people working on that. So I really like. I had gotten pretty cynical about Marvel and their events, but man, Judgment
Where'd you get that from?
super nailed it, huh? Oh, the cynical part.
Yeah, Marvel events made you cynical. What?
It's the goth. It may be the Gotham in me, but we have a thing about clowns running around in costume.
Nice.
Yeah, Judgment Day. Holy shit! And then, like I said, big shout out to Immortal X. Like, if you only had to read 3 X-Men series, which you don't have to, you can read all of them because there's so many. I would say the main X-Men, Immortal X-Men, and X-Men Red. Those have been the best ones. Also, New Mutants is close, but there was a change in the flag of like who is writing and creating that. But yeah. Anyways, Immortal X-Men. Go read that. Go read Judgment Day. I think Judgment Day might warrant like what we were planning to do with War of the Worlds, where we all read it and then maybe have a full show about it. So we'll see. Maybe once the collected edition's out, we'll figure it out. Part of it's on the list of possible topics. So, all right. And then my last one, which I can sincerely call this my favorite book of 2022, because it combines so many things that I love: comics, wrestling, and powerful.
Oh, I know where this is going.
Yeah, and also it's done by one of my favorite artists, creators, really. Daniel Warren Johnson, Duo Powerbomb, my favorite series of 2022, hands down. Like, if you've read his Murder Falcon, like that things can get very emotional, but it's also like really cool. Like, this is probably the best wrestling comic I've ever read.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is just it's such a cool thing. Like, just one person. I mean, he has Mike Spicer is doing colors and Rose Wooden's doing letters, but man, the story, just everything that happens, the art. I've never seen a suplex look so cool. It is fantastic.
He's a great artist. I love his stuff.
It's just super talented creators. He has if you don't watch his streams on the YouTube channel, I think it's called like Fridays with D-Dubs. Go check those out. They're really fun. He's still working on commissions from like 2020 or 2021 because he blew up overnight, like when like Murder Falcon and then Wonder Woman, Dead Earth. And then I think I talked about Jurassic League a few shows ago.
Yeah.
Which he wrote. So yeah, it is just it's fun, it's sad, it's so good. It is, and it's also really cool kind of introduction to the concept, like the high level concepts of wrestling. So like you can see why there's so many people that are so crazy about wrestling and they love it, because it really is, it's the perfect marriage, really. Wrestling is just comic books told on a ring.
Yeah, true.
So
hadn't thought about that.
So yeah, there it is. So that's my list. Josh, you wanna wrap this up?
Can I drop one in real quick? Because I forgot to talk about one book that I'd finished this week. Gail Simone's Variants. With Phil Noto is one of my favorite books of the year. Every issue hooked me and pulled me in. You have Phil Noto art, so that's a no-brainer. Jessica Jones versus all of her variants or team ups or you kind of have to figure it out. Gail Simone lays together an incredible little crime story because she puts them together and then tells Jessica you can't trust one of them. And what are all the variants doing here? It's so much fun. Like it's 5 issues. Phil Noto, you won't get tired of that art. And him drawing Jessica Jones from different universes is amazing. Seeing her as a Captain America and the different personality. But Gail Simone Bendis created Jessica Jones. This story shows Gail just can write Jessica Jones and a great crime story at the same time.
How did I miss this? This looks great.
Yeah.
I did. This really flew under my radar.
Yeah. Shout out just real quick on the chat before we move on to Josh. Crimson Cage. Yeah. Really, that's really cool. What else we got? Mike Spicer is also had great 22. Yep. Swamp Thing is amazing. We were gonna touch on that in a minute. I do have another list that I want to just shout out. What's up with the comic boom? Yeah. It's the comics have been great in the last and then was variants accessible? Like, was it easy to read?
Yeah. I mean, if you know Jessica Jones, I mean, like she kind of starts and you get her vibe, but as she meets other versions of herself, it really gives her perspective. And that's the interesting part of this book is like, she has to, obviously she has like a lot of deep rooted trauma, and Gail does this thing in I think the 3rd issue, trying to help her deal with the trauma. And Jessica's like, fuck that. Like, it's great to see someone who doesn't want to do a therapy or a treatment that doesn't work for her. Like, sometimes those things don't work for you. You have to do something else. And so it's neat seeing a person who needs the help go, no, I'm going to do this. Like, this is how I'm going to solve my problem. And it's not like I'm going to ignore a solution. It's how I'm going to open myself up to other opportunities. It's really Gail showing, like, sometimes therapy or the way people preach to you about the way you should handle trauma is a bunch of bullshit because you don't know. The person who's dealing with it figures out how to deal with it and move on. That's gold. I mean, like she kind of redoes Jessica in a way that is based on her character that helps her deal with this. So,
interesting.
5 issues, home run, great, totally worth picking up.
Yeah, it's on my to read pile now that it's done. All right, Josh. Now that we've been going out on you for 10 minutes now, let us know. What else you got?
I feel like this is going to end on not a high note. Well, for me it is. No. So my last 2 again are ones that longtime listeners will not be surprised by. Hard Eyes, which again is this indie comic set. Well, it was set in San Antonio. That has since changed with more recent issues. Yeah,
Josh has since dropped the comic.
No. I'm still reading it. Just the story went. It is skewed. It is such a great book. Again, really good horror book.
Just for looking at
amazing art. I cannot stress enough how fucking fantastic the art is in this book. It is so good.
She might want to see a doctor about that.
She's fine. Don't worry. Hard Eyes is it's incredible. If you have not been reading it, go check it out. It's a book that constantly surprises, which I'm always impressed by. It's a book where when you think you know what's going on, it throws something else at you, and not like in a bad way, not like in a the end of every season of Lost way. Like, they're not trying to continually confuse you. It's more like they know where the story's going, and you keep thinking you know where it's going, and then it slightly goes somewhere else. So it's good, really good. Hard Eyes still going. It's not done yet. That's one. The last one I'll mention is finished. Rocketeer: The Great Race. as I've said before on the podcast, I love The Rocketeer. Huge fan. A lot of the revival stuff has been incredibly hit or miss for me. Stuff I thought would be a slam dunk, like Rocketeer Spirit, written by Peter David of all people. Awful.
Wow.
Just a lot of the revival stuff just it didn't hit me the same way. The Great Race was the first revival series that felt like an original Rocketeer story. The scope was right, the action was right, the art was right, the writing was right. Like everything nailed what made the original Rocketeer so great. So if you love the OG Rocketeer and you're like, I want something new to read, go pick this one up. It feels like that. It's really, really good. It's so good. It's the Rocketeer running at top level again. So
I read the first one when it came out. I think we both read it like that week, and definitely want to check this one out as well. Now that the trade paperback's coming out in February, so I'll probably do it then.
Yeah. That would be the way to do it. Yeah, it's very much you can sit down and just read it back to back, and it's good. It's not you need to read it in a kind of serial format sort of way. So
okay. Real quick to the people in the chat, I asked if they could let us know their favorite comics. Promiscuous Time Traveler, still trying to figure out top spot. Keep going back and forth. Putting this list. That's why I didn't rank my choices.
Yeah, me either.
There's a lot of good stuff. But Duel from Bliss on Tap Publishing. I don't think I've heard of that publisher. I'm gonna check it out for sure though, and then we'll talk more about it on another episode. And favorite Nice House on the Lake. Yes, I haven't caught up. I think issue 12 just came out, so that should be the second arc. But man, I love the first volume. It's not on my list because I wasn't sure. I think it was that volume was from 2021. But yeah, it's really cool stuff. The first 6 issues are really cool. Glad to see that everything that's come together by issue 12 from Comic Boom. The Rocketeer series need more Betty Page analogs on the covers. Listen, we'll always take more Betty Page analogs. I'm very encouraged. And
I do too.
Greatly missed. Cool. So
there is a documentary coming out soon on Dave Stevens.
Yes.
Sorry, didn't mean to.
Really excited about that. No, I'm glad you mentioned that. Now let's see. I wanted to. There's only 20 minutes left in the show, so I don't. Is there one thing from the previously on that you really must talk about? Do you guys want to pick one thing? Because we have, I'm looking at the list.
Oh my god! I'll condense it down. Hang on.
I will say while you're looking to that, Den of Geek has a really cool list of like best comics of 2022. From like they have 25. A lot of these are on my list, but there's also some stuff that I'd never heard of, like Ducks. I need to read more like standalone graphic novels or like those type of books. They have Saga on the list, which I don't know if you read volume 10. Another kick in the groin. I still thought that was
an odd inclusion because it went on hiatus like early in the year, right? Or mid-year.
No, but it wrapped up. No, it just wrapped up. Like volume 10 came out a couple weeks ago, and yeah, it came back in 22. Yeah, it came back.
Have I been missing issues?
I think.
What's the current issue? Because hang on. Because I got
the last one. I think you might have read. You know what it is, Josh? I think you read as they were coming out. I read it once the trade was out.
Okay, because this is the last issue I've got.
Yep, that's it.
Okay, all right.
With the one page that it doesn't kick you in the groin; it kicks your heart in the groin.
Yeah, which is what they always do, bastards.
Yeah. So if you're having a good time, don't read Saga.
Exactly.
Are you happy and you want to be sad? Read Saga.
Yeah.
Are you happy and you know it? Don't read Saga. So
They also have Batman Superman World's Finest. That's the Mark Waid Dan Moore run that's ongoing. I agree. That's really good. It's Lonely at the Center of the Earth by Zoe Thorogood. I guess I should be sharing my screen.
Richard at my store mentioned there were 3 books that he keeps selling out of.
Mhm.
One was Last Ronin, the TMNT book.
That
One
is-
was Lore Olympus, and the third one was that one. And he's like, I don't know who it is. People who've never been in the store before came in and asked about it. So it's like a web comic that got turned into a comic, right?
That one's Lore Olympus is the webcomic, but this one's just
Oh,
kind of like
okay.
a memoir by. It's like semi-autographical. Zoe Thorogood.
Okay.
It's really good. I'll send you. We have a review copy because I reviewed it. I'll look for it
Awesome.
and send it over to you guys because I think you should read it. So yeah, here's the list.
It is a good list. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. Here's Lore Olympus. That webcomic is just took over the internet and it's selling out so much. So I get it. Immortal X-Men, like I mentioned earlier. Monkey Meat. I need to go back and read it. It's such a weird book, but I do want to read it. Nightwing has been phenomenal. I think Tom Taylor he gets it, man. He really gets it. Ones and Futures finally done, so hopefully I'll be able to actually read that. But here's the Saga.
Spider-Punk was on there too, which it was in my short list, but it didn't make it. It was good. It was fun.
Yeah.
That's the one he keeps saying. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. You know what it is too? Like Zoe Thorogood is such a young creator that you know that just gonna keep getting better and better. Like it's
always nice to see that, like they kind of knock it out of the park with an early book, and you just
I believe
improving.
This is the second or third book, and man, the Swamp Thing run by Ram V, I do want to go back and look at because it's very horror based. Ram V is doing some really cool stuff in Detective Comics.
Yeah.
So I feel like I want to check that out. And this is what gets my attention the most. The whole Action Comics, Superman off in Warworld, like it feels like Philip K. Johnson wanted to write Conan, but he's working at DC. So yeah, it's really really cool. There's some stuff in the chat. I'll touch in a minute.
Yeah, I just saw that too.
This one's I've never heard of this book. Maybe I'll check it out.
Why did that ring a bell? I've heard of that for some reason.
Wash Day Diaries.
Wash Day Diaries. I did, and I can't remember where.
We have Moon Knight. Which are you caught up, Clay?
I'm not current.
Okay, me neither.
Jed McKay is writing. Like I've read the first dozen.
Yeah, same. I think we're probably around the same spot then. 20th Century Man. I keep hearing good things about this book as well. So I might check it out once it's collected. And then we have The Good Asian. I've heard really good things about this one as well. And I think it's all done now. This is the one I said, Ducks. It's about the creator and their time like working at an oil rig.
Yeah, I've heard great things about this book.
Yeah, I think there's some content warnings on it, so make sure to check that out before you read it. I mean, it says Ducks. Well, without you noticing, it'll make you very angry. So yeah,
which is not what you would think seeing that art sample.
Right.
So
and then Squire. Also, I keep hearing good things about this one as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then their number one is The Human Target, which I can't believe none of us mentioned in our list.
I know. I
did Limbo.
I need to read it. It's one of those Tom King books that just went by me.
Yeah. All right. Real quick, let's go to the comments because there's some interesting stuff. I love that they're having a conversation about stuff.
Yeah. I know. Me too.
Yeah. I think I need to read for 2023. I need to read more of these like young adult graphic novel things. I think there's some interesting stuff there. Saga seems to have disappeared. I think they're just taking their time a lot with it.
Yeah.
So they're like maybe releasing probably one volume a year. I know the next issue should be coming out maybe sometimes in the next few months. in here talking about the appeal of young adult graphic novels is that they're one full story for the cost. Yeah, floppies compressed. Yeah,
That's a really good
completely
point.
agree.
Yeah.
We've kind of talked about this when we were trying to fix when we were running DC and trying to fix comics sometime last
That's
year.
right.
I think.
We did a
Laura
good
Limpert-
job, by the way.
Everything's good
really
now.
needed
We
it.
fixed comics.
I hadn't heard about this Laura Olympus.
I hadn't either. Yeah, I'm kind of curious what. I've never read it. I just know it's hot. So
maybe because of the success, sometimes it's harder to connect more directly with the fans, which is probably easier when you're on a smaller platform. Not that Webtoons is small at all, but I mean, I think the community is usually a little bit tighter.
Yeah.
So let's see. Yeah, Comic Boom. Moon Knight was a lot better than the show was. They're very different. So yeah,
I like Clay's face.
I think somebody needs to go back and rewatch that show.
You know, it's funny because I'm not seeing a lot of best of lists, Clay. So I think the audience is divided on that show. But I'm glad you
I
like
still
it.
need to
You're a Moon
finish
Knight
it.
fan, so like
Yeah. I mean, you have Oscar Isaacs. If he doesn't carry that, and Khonshu is way bigger in the show than he is in the comic. And you know, who does the voice of Khonshu? I forget. It's
it's
an Oscar-winning actor too.
yeah, shit. I can see him. Oh god.
F. Murray Abraham.
It's right there. Thank you.
Yeah.
and
And again,
show
like
is
that
bad.
first season, you have a character that's very complex, and they
you watched the wrong
from
show,
original
Carlos.
story. So I can understand why people didn't care for it.
It's not Moon Knight. It's Moon Knight. They watched the wrong one.
Yeah,
you
there's no
need to-
K.
And then like these four. I was looking through the list too to just kind of see if I missed anything, and I see a lot of those like standalone graphic novels. So I think for 2023 that should be something that I'll try to get more into to read because they seem pretty accessible.
I got
you,
something I'm going to try in 2023.
Holy shit! Hold on.
What is that?
Are you gonna kill someone with
Lone
that?
Wolf and Cub.
Lone
Nice.
Wolf.
Wolf and Cub
Kill
Omnibus Volume 1. Shelby had one at work.
Nice.
That's so cool.
How many omnibus volumes are there?
I don't know, but cover art. I mean, this is like $20 retail.
Oh, it's nice.
So half price, 10.
That's about.
Do you guys
20
want to? Oh, sorry.
No, what were you say, Josh?
You guys. Well, I was gonna say. Do you want to save our previously on for next time?
Yeah, let's do that. What I want to do now, because I've been holding out all week. Let me just make sure that let me switch to the iPods. The AirPods, I mean. 1 second.
I still can't believe that we're in a time that we're getting a Moon Knight show and people are picky about that fucking shit. Like, that blows my mind that it's like, I grew up in a decade where we had like 2 Superman films and people are like, yeah, Moon Knight, fuck it, not good. It's like, I'd be begging for a Moon Knight show in the 70s, 80s, 90s, aughts. I mean, like,
but we're showing our age, Clay, because the thing is, the MCU has been so successful that now you have fans that expect certain things from it, and if it doesn't correspond with those, they don't like it, which is fine. I mean, that's speaking to success, right? But yeah, like I had to. What was I showing my daughter the other day? And I was like, you have to keep in mind this would. Oh, I was showing her. I think of the trailer for the Corman FF movie, and I said you have to keep in mind this was as good as we got in the 80s and 90s for Marvel stuff.
And
like,
still,
we just didn't get it.
FF. It's the best
I know.
FF
I know.
movie
I'm with
that's
you.
ever
I'm
been
with
made.
you. It is the best FF movie ever. It's the most true. Has the best Doctor Doom, which is saying something.
Honestly, you know what would be great at this time is if Marvel hired The Rock to play Doctor Doom. He just fucking bails on DC. He's like, fuck you, Black Adam didn't work out.
Yeah. And you know what? I'll hide my face behind a mask. Why not? I can't cock my eyebrow. Actually, they designed the Dr. Doom mask with the eyebrow raised.
That would be great.
I'm on board.
You smell what the Doom is cooking?
Oh my god!
Now I want to make a variant Dr. Doom figure that just has the raised eyebrow.
Yep, exactly.
You can do it, Clay. I believe in you.
All
right, nerds. To wrap up the show, I've been holding out on watching this because I wanted to watch it with you guys.
Me too.
Okay, great.
I've seen one tiny screenshot, and that's it. So
Okay,
I'm excited.
Let's get into this.
So hold on, let me set it up for the to plot out the video. So what we're about to watch is this week we got a look at Renfield, that trailer with Nicolas Cage. That's all I know about this. Nicolas Cage is, I think, Dracula or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think he's Dracula. Yeah.
So let's go check out the trailer for Renfield, and we'll talk about it a little bit, and then we'll wrap up the show. And hopefully I set this up right so you guys can hear it. So here's the trailer for Renfield.
Sorry to interrupt.
Are you okay? I need to get out of a toxic relationship.
Why don't you start by telling us what brought you here?
My boss, he's different.
You can't get him out of your head.
No.
I need your assistance.
I'm coming, Master!
Oh, you feel like he could destroy you with the snap of his fingers.
Wouldn't even need to snap.
Oh, God.
Okay.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, what?
Renfield, bring me innocent victims. I want a handful of nuns, a busload of cheerleaders.
And I just want a normal life again. But this modern world is a dangerous place. No.
What?
Thank you. You saved my life. Did I watch you cut a guy's arms off with a decorative serving platter?
It's all in the wrist. Let me explain. My boss gave me this power. In return, I tend to his needs, including care, feeding.
You bring in people to eat? You're like the guy that gets the villain's Postmates.
But if you stop focusing on his needs, what would happen?
He won't grow to full power.
Exactly. He won't grow to full power. What? That's so weird. Why would you phrase it like that? But yes. Hi. Are you here for the meeting? Well, come on.
No!
Oh,
Some call me the Dark One. Others, the Lord of Death. To most, I am Dracula.
Okay, obviously we're dealing with a little bit more than just narcissism here.
Now, let's eat.
Yeah! Fuck yeah!
Oh, that was so worth the wait. That was
Good. I am getting very What We Do in the Shadow vibes from it, though.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking.
God, that
man.
looks good.
That is Nicholas Hoult, I think, Promiscuous Time Traveler, pointing out. That is the guy from Warm Bodies. Yeah. Also, he was Beast in the X-Men movies. And also, recently on HBO Max, just added The Menu. If you haven't seen The Menu, go watch The Menu.
I need to. Okay, is it good?
Yeah.
Chef's kiss.
Nice.
But
appropriate.
This man, Renfield, holy shit. Like I said, all I knew going into this was that I didn't even recognize Nicholas Hoult from the picture. Yeah, Dracula is going to be portrayed by Nicolas Cage. Oh, they're both Nicholas. Holy shit.
Superman to Dracula.
Who is the actor running the therapy group? Because he looks familiar. I couldn't place him.
I don't know. Yeah,
a better Morbius.
It's Morbin time.
I think I took those off. I took off the Morbin time gifts to clear out.
I really hope they have that line in there. That'd be great.
Oh, that'd be so good.
Yeah,
get a Jared Leto cameo. He ain't doing nothing.
Sorry, this is the only Nicolas Cage that I have.
Nice.
We're gonna, you know what? We should make that a Patreon. If you contribute so much, we make Kyle watch this Nicolas Cage film because you know he'll hate it.
Yeah, he does hate. Yeah. So this is going to be
so
directed
good.
by Chris McKay, who did the Tomorrow War, the Lego Batman movie. So that, I mean, that's I'm on board with that. And it's with a screenplay by Ryan Ridley, who's worked on Rick and Morty. So, and this
Makes
is
sense.
all an original idea by The Walking Dead and Invincible creator Robert Kirkman. I wonder,
Really?
Wow.
is this a comic?
I don't
adaptation?
think of Kirkman as a humor writer at all. That's fascinating. I wonder if
though,
McKay took the idea and just ran with it.
Yeah, I do think. I mean, whenever he ate the spider and started kicking ass,
Yeah.
that part feels definitely very Kirkman, like
Yeah.
Invincible and stuff. Yeah, for sure. Wow, this is cool. I'm gonna check if this is from a comic or something, because then definitely want to check that out at least. But this looks fantastic. Looks like a lot of fun, a lot of violence. So yeah,
They blew up a priest in the first 5 seconds.
Yeah, that was cool.
Can you? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Josh.
Can you imagine if this becomes their first film in a new Dark Pictures reboot or Dark Universe? Wouldn't that be amazing? Like they're just going to go all in on like comedy. Yeah, exactly. I would dig that. That'd be incredible.
Dude, it better end with the Monster Squad.
Ah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. It's Cajun time.
It's Cajun time.
It's Cajun time.
He did write Rick Grimes 2000. Yeah.
I did not know that. Okay, I will take it back. I am not a Kirkman expert. I will confess. So
Rick Grimes 2000. Yeah, I'm very on board with this film. I don't know when it's gonna come out. There's a lot of good stuff. Like I've heard amazing stuff about that Megan film that's coming out this weekend.
Yeah, James Wan with another killer doll.
Yeah, everybody doing the Megan dance. That's what we're gonna be doing on next week's episode. The Megan dance. So, all right. For more trailer reviews and all that stuff, make sure to go check out the channel. We have some more of that stuff. But let's wrap up the show with very quickly go through our recommendations, and then we'll close out for the day. So, Josh, you want to hit us up first?
Yeah, so I had some Christmas money, so I finally picked up Marvel's Midnight Suns. Anyone else playing this game?
I want to, but tell me it's bad.
Okay. No, it's not. Here's the thing. So, all right, first off, you have to like tactical games, right? So, it's by the same people that did XCOM. So, if you like kind of tactical combat, it has a weird card mechanic, which I'm still kind of getting used to. The thing that surprised me about it, and I just want to stress, I was not expecting this. When you watch the trailer, it's like, okay, this is very much kind of like the Marvel horror occult side of things, right? This game is funny. I was not expecting how funny this game is, right? Like, just in like the opening scene, there's this, and I will stress, the guy doing the voice for Tony Stark is very much trying to pull off a Downey Jr. But there's this whole thing where somebody keeps calling him oh fuck, I'm gonna screw it up. Anyway, they call him something that's not Iron Man. And you're playing the main character who has been revived after hundreds of years. So you don't know anything about the Marvel universe. And you keep calling him by that wrong name because you think that's his name. And it just, I mean, the game is just funny. Like, I was really not expecting it to be as funny as it is. I'm not really far into it yet, but I'm digging it. I'm really digging it. It's good. So,
I
Marvel's Midnight Suns.
Yeah, my brother played it, and he said if you like Ultimate Alliance and stuff like that, then you're probably gonna dig this game because it's the same.
Okay.
Yeah,
I have all those.
I would say the key difference is Ultimate Alliance is more like an action, like you're constantly moving and fighting. This one is very much like you need to plan out your moves before you do anything.
Gotcha.
but it does have that team base aspect to it, which is kind of nice. So Captain Marvel was there, Iron Man's there, Doctor Strange is there, but then you get like the Midnight Suns themselves. Ghost Rider is in it. He's fun.
Magic and Nico from the Runaways.
Magic and Nico. Blade is in it, and the guy doing Blade's voice is pitch perfect. Yeah, it's a fun game. It's really good. So
does he say
highly recommend?
Hey, can I run my recommendation because I gotta bug out right now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Minor Threats, the Patton Oswalt book is basically him riffing on what if you were the Rogues when the Joker killed Robin. And instead of Batman has snapped, and of course this is all rearranged for the Dark Horse world, but essentially these are the Rogues, and they have kind of lame powers, as the Rogues do. But what if they were caught in the middle of that? And that's what Minor Threats is.
Think of it as if they lived in. If you remember that episode of the Justice League where they go see the Justice Lords. Think of the Rogues living in that universe and kind of what would happen if one of their big bad guys killed somebody's sidekick.
Yeah, and he's good. He's coming after him no matter what. And so that's the fun part is he doesn't have the limitations of DC's editorial, but he's working with Jason Blum from Blumhouse. And so it's all kinds of weird shit. It's fun. And it's got, if you kind of know those characters, that's what he's riffing off. And he does slow reveals throughout the show or throughout the book. So Minor Threats, again, my guy Josh at my comic shop dropped him in without me even having to ask for him because he knew it was Patton that I'd love it. And I do.
Let's light this candle, huh?
Yeah. I love it. See you, Clay. Take care, dude. All right, my recommendation, and we'll wrap up the show, is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossover. I read that over the weekend of New Year's, so I could read the first issue of the first volume, the second volume. So they're expanding on the crossover. I very much enjoyed it. I think Ryan Parrott really understands these characters, and it's kind of just cool to see them hanging out together. It's the classic versions of both of the groups from Boom and IDW. So yeah, go check that out. I had a really good time with it, and I'm really enjoying the second part as well. I did a 60-second explainer of the first one if you don't want to read it and you just want to get onto the second one. So go check that out. But yeah, that's it. That's our show. Next week we will do probably our favorite movies of last year. Depending on the time, we may do some more stuff. But yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. And let's get out of here.
Let's ride.
Thanks everyone for watching.
Little loves you.
Oh yeah. Clay.
Hail Bebo.
Josh, Simon Center, get the fuck out.